Hi, welcome to the 7th episode in my new series where I'm going to teach you how to get better at speaking English and also thinking in English. This is Susan Broder from Speak Languages and Travel the World, here to help you improve your English with minimum effort and maximum benefit. And in each of these episodes, I'm going to give you 3 tips, 3 strategies of how you can practice speaking English, therefore improve your fluency and, as a consequence, improve thinking in English, which will help you make fewer mistakes. So let's get straight to tip number 1. Tip number 1, if you want to sound natural, you must learn phrasal verbs. We use phrasal verbs all the time. We don't use normal verbs, which we also have in the English language, but we tend to use phrasal verbs. For example, we would never say, I'll come and get you at the station. It's correct, it's all correct, but we would normally say, I'll come and pick you up at the station. So pick someone up is a phrasal verb. Come and get you is totally correct, but nobody would say it. So it's very important to learn phrasal verbs, and the only way to make them stick in your brain, the phrasal verb, is to write them down on a post-it, maybe 3 at a time, put them on your dashboard or on a mirror somewhere and look at them every day, but also use them. So if you see the phrasal verb pick up, for example, pick someone up, then you can start saying, oh, I'm going to pick Tom up at the station. I have to pick Mary up at the airport. Last week I went to pick Tom up from the pub. Tomorrow I have to remember to pick up the medicines from the chemists. So if you continue to practice it, it'll become second nature, and that's very, very important. Phrasal verbs help you sound natural. Now, there are really hundreds of phrasal verbs. I think my book has 300-400 phrasal verbs. So don't expect to learn them all, but do learn the most common ones, the ones that we use every day. That was tip number 1. Tip number 2, you have to practice word stress. There are words which have a stress in a particular position, and you may or may not be understood if you stress it wrongly. Then there are also different stress patterns depending on whether you're speaking American or British. For example, if you say advertisement, you've said it in British English, whilst if you say advertisement, you're saying it in American English. So stress patterns are very important. You should try and learn them, learn to say them correctly. And the easiest way to check on how to pronounce words is to look online, for example, the Oxford Learner's Dictionary. It will have the pronunciation both in American and British English. You just have to click and you can hear it. As soon as you hear it, you know how to pronounce it, and you make sure you get the stress pattern correct. That was tip number 2. Tip number 3, you always have the feeling that we speak very quickly. In reality, in every language, people seem to speak quickly when you don't know the language, and then as soon as you know the language, actually you realize that it's not fast, it's normal. But as a consequence, especially if you're nervous, you will tend to speak faster than you should be speaking. So you should practice speaking with pauses, pausing for effect. Try and speak as if you were reading like an actor, reading a book. You wouldn't read it all flat and read it straight off. You would read it with expression, pausing for effect. And that's how you're supposed to speak. You're not supposed to run along fast, because you'll also stutter or get all your words mumbled and jumbled, and then we won't understand you. So first of all, try and speak slowly and clearly, and as you get better, as you get more fluent, then you can connect the speech and you can just start speaking not faster, but really more fluently. And when you're speaking more fluently, it automatically gets faster. Let's summarize. Tip number 1. Practice speaking using phrasal verbs. Learn them gradually and incorporate them in your daily language, in your daily speaking to yourself. Tip number 2, practice word stress. Observe how words are pronounced and practice saying the more complicated words stressed in the correct way. And tip number 3, speak slowly and clearly, pausing for effect, and learn connected speech, but connect it gradually. Don't hurry, because it'll come naturally as time goes by. As long as you're trying to imitate dialogue, but not too fast, you'll get it gradually. So don't worry about it, it'll come. Please write in the comments below which of the tips you're implementing and any trouble you're having. Don't forget to subscribe. Also hit the notification bells so that you can be notified every time a video of mine comes out. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye! Hi, welcome to